It was shaping up to be a good week for Joe Biden. He got Brittany Griner back. He kept marriage gay, and he's only got 14 more sleeps until Santa. But then, just when he thought he had it all under control, Kyrsten Sinema said, "Hold my wig." Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema, seen here realizing that someone is actually waving to the person behind her.
President Biden, seen here trying to remember where he left his mask, announced new federal regulations for ghost guns. I mean, look, I don't like the idea of people having ghost guns either, but if there's something strange in your neighborhood, who are you going to call? Nikki Haley has launched a series of campaign ads targeting both Donald Trump and Joe Biden called Grumpy Old Men. Okay, but at least they're men. Chicago became the largest U.S. city to call for a ceasefire in Gaza, and in return, Gaza called for a ceasefire in Chicago.
Announced that she is leaving the Democratic Party and is registering as an independent, explained Sinema. "Pay attention to me." WNBA star Brittany Griner was freed from prison in exchange for Russian arms dealer Victor Bout. It's actually a great trade because Bout was only averaging 5 points and 2 rebounds a game. A video has also gone viral of President Biden finishing a speech in North Carolina, then apparently turning to shake hands with an invisible person. Hey, her name is Kamala. When's the last time you saw her? The FCC is preparing to criminalize unsolicited robocalls that use AI to impersonate politicians. But you can still impersonate Ted Cruz by shaving a sloth's face.
Raphael Warnock defeated Herschel Walker in Georgia's Senate runoff race. You know, but I don't think this is the last you'll hear from Herschel Walker. I mean, unless he's your biological father. With Raphael Warnock's win, Democrats in the Senate will no longer have to rely on Vice President Harris for tie-breaking votes. Harris can now focus on her main priority, waiting for a worse bike accident.
I don't Honestly, I don't understand why Elon even wants to own Twitter. It used to be something that seemed important and even fun, and now you look at it and it's confusing and depressing. It's the Giuliani of apps. The Supreme Court heard a case this week over whether a conservative evangelical woman can refuse to design a website for a same-sex marriage. But, honey, I don't know any gay couple who's going to hire a designer with those highlights.
A proposed bill in California would create an alert system for missing black women and kids. This is in addition to the alert system for missing white women and kids, the news.
And come on, Elon built electric cars. He's going to Mars. Why is he even involving himself with Twitter? It would be like if the Prince of England gave it all up just to marry an actor from Suits. Plus, I gotta say, Twitter's not even profitable anymore. It just feels like a bad business decision. And I say that as someone who bought a Staten Island ferry with Pete.
Honey.
I'm sorry. I apologize. During oral arguments in the case, Justice Samuel Alito raised the hypothetical, could a black department store Santa be forced to take a picture with a child dressed in a Klan robe? Alito added that he'd love an answer before he takes his grandkids to the mall next week.
The inflation rate in the U.S. reached 8.5% in March. To cover the higher prices, millions of families have been forced to take out a second OnlyFans account. The manhunt for the New York City subway shooter ended when the suspect called the police tip line to say that he was in an East Village McDonald's, where, judging by this photo, he was auditioning for the role of Grimace. Donald Trump said the results of the 2020 election should be overturned and called for the termination of the Constitution. Trump plans to terminate the Constitution by asking Herschel Walker to drive it to the clinic.
Michael.
Oh, come on.
JetBlue has made an offer to buy Spirit Airlines. Said Spirit, it's $500 for the night, no kissing. Scientists say new technology can now predict when someone will suffer a potentially fatal heart attack. The technology is called Peloton. If you guys saw today, Morocco beat Portugal in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. It is, it's the best World Cup performance by a team of Africans since the unpaid workers who built the stadiums. I didn't do it.
Mental health experts are now recommending that children start being screened for anxiety when they are 8 years old, because it can be pretty stressful down at that old iPhone factory. The WNBA will soon allow teams traveling for away games to fly on private charter planes, which previously only happened after they were released from Russian prison. This might be my favorite show. This is my Emmy show.
Two Barbie dolls were launched into space for the first time ever aboard the International Space Station. Finally, they're gone, said two Ken dolls. Portugal's head coach decided not to start soccer legend Cristiano Ronaldo in today's loss. Even more insulting, at halftime, he tried to trade Ronaldo for Brittany Griner. But the biggest upset so far in the World Cup was that favorite Brazil was eliminated, except for a tiny strip down the middle. A Brazilian man... Here we go. Sorry, transition. A Brazilian man had to undergo emergency surgery after he got a 4-pound dumbbell stuck in his anus. He then shoved it back up there and said, 2. Anyway, that's why you always wipe down the equipment.
Nike has officially cut ties with Brooklyn Nets star Kyrie Irving over his anti-Semitism scandal. Kyrie says he's so depressed he might jump off the edge of the world.
Today was the SantaCon bar crawl in New York City. Yeah, the annual reminder that while Santa may exist, God doesn't.
A New Jersey man was arrested after he ran over a woman multiple times in a road rage incident. Said the woman, sorry. Donald Trump announced he is selling limited edition gold sneakers for $400. You can check them out on the feed of the guy getting dragged off your flight. It's okay.
Chris Christie's niece was arrested on a Spirit Airlines flight to Newark after she accused a Latino family of smuggling cocaine, then injured multiple officers by biting them and kicking them in the groin. She has been sentenced to life in the New Jersey Hall of Fame.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, who looks like the mugshot of a former child star, has supported conspiracy theories about 9/11 school shootings, the deep state, and Jewish people. Oh, I get it, lady. You're my type. I'm kidding. Anybody who believes those crazy conspiracies has to be as blind as Stevie Wonder is pretending to be. A new album from R. Kelly was removed from streaming sites several hours after being uploaded. And it was not easy to remove his streams, said the maid who cleaned his couch.
Google Earth has released a new feature that allows people to see a time lapse of how their neighborhood has changed over the last 40 years. Don't remind me, said my grandpa. Representative Greene then apologized for her extensive conspiracy theories, saying, nobody's perfect. Yeah, I don't think perfect is the standard we were holding you to. We would just settle for not violently insane. Nobody's perfect is a cutesy little phrase you say when you accidentally mess up a lunch order. Doesn't really apply when you accuse kids of faking a mass shooting. It's the same reason "did I do that" was Urkel's catchphrase and not OJ's. On Christmas. The Los Angeles Zoo announced that Evelyn, a 46-year-old gorilla famous for her red hair, has been euthanized. Not because she was sick, but because it's LA and she was in her 40s.
Fox News is being sued by Smartmatic voting machines for $2.7 billion for false reporting. If they lose, Fox will use money from their sexual harassment settlement jar. A new report shows that a number of people storming the Capitol didn't actually vote in the election. So maybe they weren't the savvy political geniuses we all thought they were.
This will get you back. A woman in Texas allegedly dumped 3 buckets of human waste in front of a police department and drove away. It's a rare case of erratic behavior from a lady who poops in a bucket.
It was announced that country music star Morgan Wallen had his recording contract suspended after a video surfaced of the singer using the N-word. Wonder who he learned that from.
Also, I want to point out that as disturbing as this story is, it's not as disturbing as imagining the woman's drive to the police station with full buckets of feces because one speed bump turns her car into a Starbucks bathroom. It was announced that Stormy Daniels will appear on Michael Cohen's podcast. Worse, Michael Cohen will appear in a Stormy Daniels movie.
France announced that it will start providing free condoms for people between the ages of 18 and 25. Cool. Now do deodorant. Video was posted of a police officer in San Francisco pulling over a driverless car, then the car driving away after the officer saw no one was behind the wheel. Even more amazing, he still managed to shoot an unarmed black guy. A Wisconsin man who was sentenced to 14 years in prison for robbing a bank said he did it because he decided to try something new. I like that attitude, said his cellmate.
Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme is running a promotion offering a dozen donuts for $4.11, which is the average price for a gallon of gas. But that's counterproductive because now your car is going to have to work even harder to drag your fat ass around. Officials in Amsterdam are hoping to reset tourism by moving the city's famous red light district away from the center of town. Okay, but take it from New York. When you drive out the sex stuff, that's when the Elmos move in.
SEO is the main part of the business. बहुत सारे बिजनेसमैन ऐसे हैं जो अपने डिजिटल मार्केटिंग करते हैं बिजनेस के लिए, बट SEO नहीं करते. आप डिजिटल मार्केटिंग के साथ SEO भी करें और अपने बिजनेस को प्रमोट होते देखें. थैंक यू.